Did you know that in Romania, the money is not made out of paper, but it is made out of plastic instead, and it is nearly impossible to fold the notes.
We're Sarah and Marek, amateur backpackers who somehow managed to travel around Europe for a whole year for under $10,000. From working on sailboats to hitchhiking across 3 countries, our budget travels have been anything but boring. We're about to start a trip through the infamous Balkans, 8 countries in 6 weeks. Can we do it? Subscribe to find out.
Yesterday we had a jam-packed day that we really enjoyed, seeing some beautiful places here in Romania. Then last night we hopped onto an overnight train and went from Cluj-Napoca to another city in Romania called Brasov. And then this morning we hopped onto a bus to come out to this town called Bran to visit the most visited place in all of Romania, Dracula's Castle.
Is that really it?
Alright, I know it's a bit of a weird reaction, but Sarah will explain it a bit better.
When we first got up here, we were both feeling pretty bleak because we thought we had just paid 90 lei to just come and look at the outside of the castle. But as you can see, we're inside right now, and the ticket includes coming into the castle and having your own little tour through the castle. But we're also feeling a little bit confused at the moment.
It's so small in here.
Marek is not as interested in castles and this kind of thing, but I am, and I'm really trying to read the information that's available and take everything in, but from what I've seen so far, I'm finding it very difficult to follow any kind of storyline. All the information's very disjointed. So my advice to anyone planning to visit would be to maybe do a bit more research beforehand, invest in the audio guide. You can buy an audio guide here, or you can maybe download your own one before coming here. But I think you'll need something extra over and above what they've got here on the signboards to actually understand a bit more and take it all in nicely. This seems to be the most Instagrammable spot on the whole tour so far. Everyone stops here to take a photo. It's got a pretty great view. That's how you feel. Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest with you, we just wasted 90 lei.
For me, it was interesting, it was cool, but I definitely think there's a huge discrepancy between what people believe this tourist attraction is and what it actually is. So the whole thing about Dracula and everything, there is a small section in there with Romanian mythology and about Dracula a little bit, but the castle is not really about that because, sorry to say it, but Dracula isn't real, guys. So, I don't know, that doesn't form part of the history really at all, and that's just because an author who wrote the book Dracula decided to choose this castle and was inspired by, what's that guy's name?
It fits his scope of description, basically.
Yeah, I mean, all the touristy souvenirs and everything's about Dracula and vampires and all that sort of stuff, but when you're actually inside the castle,
95% of it's got to do with Queen Marie.
or like all the other rulers and people that lived in this castle, because those are the actual people, you know, that's the actual history of it. Like you were saying earlier, we both did our own research on the castle, we both read different articles, and we still had no idea this was actually what it was going to be like.
We'll show you the best place to look at the castle though, one that you don't have to pay to get in. In my opinion, the best place to actually look at the castle is down here, in the market, in the streets. You've got such nice views of the castle all the way and all over this place that you can actually see the full scale of it and the full beauty of the castle. When you're up close next to it, honestly, you can't really see much.
So this whole market and all the souvenirs and everything that they're selling here has pretty much got a very similar theme: Dracula.
But then when you get into the castle itself, it's got nothing to do with it.
For obvious reasons.
You know, the castle that is so famous in the novel, it's got nothing to do with it. So it's just a really strange disconnect between the two.
Alright, some interesting facts about the castle that we didn't learn inside the castle. We learned from our own research, and this is what we find interesting about the castle.
So the entire story or the entire character of Dracula was all inspired by a guy named Vlad the Impaler. Now it's a really gory story and we won't share the details with you. If you're interested in it, you can rather just go and do your own research. Number 2, the castle was actually built as a bulwark, which basically means it was a defensive wall. A defensive wall to protect the entire empire from the northward expansion of the Ottoman Empire. Interesting fact, number 3, the locals believed, or still believe, in vampires, which really suits the whole character of Dracula and the castle. Now, interesting fact number 4, the author of the book Dracula, Bram Stoker, has actually never visited the castle.
I was shook by that one. Shook.
The whole idea of the castle he dreamt up in his head, and it just so happened that this castle suited what he was trying to portray.
Yummy. We got ourselves a soup to share because we spent so much money getting into the castle, but it looks really good. I think there's even some chunks of meat in there maybe.
It's tarragon and cream and potatoes and something else.
Wow, that's interesting. The tarragon's a really interesting flavor. That was a good choice. You want to give it a try?
We also managed to get a few pieces of bread as well. So. Oh, that is nice. That is warm, it is comforting, it is rich. Look at the potatoes and the cream dancing around in there. Yeah. Everything's okay. This is really nice.
Just to give some context, we've been freezing our butts off all morning. It is so windy and cold here.
Freezing.
We're trying not to complain too much, but wow. So this soup is really good.
That's cold. That's home time.
Thank you.
It's much warmer here, eh? Much warmer. So, if you ever find yourself in Brasov and you wanting to go visit Dracula's castle or the Bran castle instead, you want to use public transport, you just come down here to the local bus stop called Autogar 2 and you'll find a bus just over there, and they leave every hour on the hour, and you can expect to pay about 9 lei per ticket.
Dracula's castle, is it worth it? Yes and no. The town of Bran, to me, really makes the whole experience. They've set up this town in a very particular style. It's very touristy, and it's all on the theme of the castle. If you visit Bran, you don't necessarily need to go up to the castle and pay that fee to go inside. We didn't find that part really worthwhile. But if you visit the town, enjoy the market, enjoy the food, the vibe, it really is a great day activity.
Tomorrow we are jumping onto what they call a Soviet sleeper train, and we'll be going overnight to the capital of Moldova, Chisinau. Also, if you're interested in finding out how much groceries cost here in Romania, you need to go and get some groceries before we get onto that trip. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Interesting fact number 3. I got too excited there. Huh. Doesn't smell like anything.